Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. You know the routine. I'm going to have to tell you a few corny jokes before I get into the Bible trivia. There was this real smart man. He was a genius. He was full of himself. He sat down beside this man that didn't look like he was all that smart, and he offered him a challenge. He says, "I tell you what, I'm going to make a bet with you. If I ask you a question that you can't answer, you got to pay me $5. But since I'm a very smart man, I'll give you $5,000 if I can't answer your question." Well, you know, the man said, "Well, okay, that's fine." So the genius began to ask him the first question. He said, "Okay, I want you to name all the continents that are in the world." Well, the man, he didn't really know the answer. He named off one or two, didn't know the rest. So he handed over the $5 to him. And then the not so smart man got his turn. So he said, genius said, "Well, ask me your question." He said, "Okay, what sleeps on two legs, but whenever it walks or whenever it's awake, it's on six legs?" Well, the genius would begin to think about it, racking his brain, trying to go through all the things that he knew, and he couldn't think of the answer. He goes, "I don't know the answer to that question." And so he handed the dumb man, or at least that's what he thought he was, handed him the $5,000. And then he said, "Okay, well, what is that? What's the answer?" And so the dumb man, he just took out a $5 bill and he paid it to the genius because he didn't know either. He just made it up. Oh, just imagine that happening. Okay, I got one other one. A teacher asked the class, says, "Which book has helped you the most in your life?" Well, one student said, "My father's checkbook." Oh, isn't that the truth sometimes? Not funny for us fathers, though. All right, let's get to our questions. I'm going to give you 10 questions worth a point apiece, and then you're going to have bonus questions, two of them that are worth 3 points apiece if you choose to take them. If you don't get any extra bonus points. You don't lose any points. But if you get it wrong again, you lose 3 points. So let's get right straight to it. I think you know the routine. Number one, who left her son under a bush so she wouldn't have to watch him die? Was it Hannah, Esther, or Hagar? Genesis 21, verses 14 through 16 tells us that it was Hagar. Number two, after being purchased by the Ismailites, I can't even say that word today, in which country did Joseph become a slave? Was it Egypt, Babylon, or Arabia? Genesis 37, verse 28 tells us that it was Egypt. Number three, who tried several times to kill David with a spear? Was it Saul, Jonathan, or Michael? 1 Samuel 18:11 tells us that it was Saul. Number four, who was the man from the land of Uz? Was it Joshua, Jeremiah, or Job? Well, the verse reference gives away who this is, so I'll give you just another second. Answers found in Job 1:1, which means, of course, it's Job. Number five, blind Bartimaeus was healed by Jesus on the roadside near what city? Jerusalem, Jericho, or Bethany? Mark 10, verses 46 through 52 tells us that the answer is Jericho. Now, here's your bonus question. It's not multiple choice, and it's related to the question I just asked. What was Bartimaeus doing by the roadside? What was he doing? Mark 10, verse 46 tells us that he was begging. All right, let's move on to our next set of questions. Number one, who was the dedicated disciple in Joppa who Peter raised from the dead? Was it Anna, Sapphira, or Dorcas? Acts 9, verses 36 through 40 tells us that it was Dorcas, and she was also called Tabitha. Number two, who was the righteous and God-fearing centurion who had a vision from God? Was it Cornelius, Sosthenes, or Nicholas? Acts 10, verses 1 through 3 tells us that it was Cornelius. Number three, in Cornelius's vision, who did the angel of God tell him to send for? Was it Peter, Mark, or Bartholomew? Acts 10, verses 3 through 5, and I bet you probably got this right. The answer is Peter. Number 4, what happened when Peter went on the housetop to pray? He fell asleep, he had a vision, he fell off. Acts 10, verses 9 through 12 tells us that he had a vision. Number 5, what did Peter have a vision of while on the housetop? Was it of heaven, the future of Jerusalem, or a sheep full of animals? Acts 5, verses 10 through 11, or Acts 10, verses 11 through 12 has the answer, and it's a sheet full of animals. Now, here's our bonus question. Hope you're feeling smart. The bonus question again is this: what did God tell Peter to do in response to the vision? What did God tell Peter to do in response to the vision? Answers found in Acts 10, verse 13. And he said, "Arise, Peter, kill and eat." Well, I hope you did well. I think most of these questions were fairly easy, so I think most of you probably got most, if not all of them right. And let me know how you did down in the comments.